going to talk about what's changed, what's new, and what to look forward to as we grow together. Join me on this journey as we grow and learn through conversation. Hi again, and welcome to the refreshed, reformatted, renewed, revamped podcast. If you notice, I'm going to be looking down a couple times. I've got bullet points. That's not how it's going to be the entire time, but I want to make sure I stay on point and on track. So if you're listening, be sure to catch the video version on YouTube. So I'm Luis. I'm a published freelance fashion and cosplay photographer with a focus on empowerment through boudoir photography. So I created this podcast to connect, to build, to empower, and to learn through living, photography, and whatever inspires you as an artist. So on occasion, there's going to be a live recording where I have guests come on. And there's going to be, like this one, a pre-recorded session. So what's the purpose? Excuse me. I apologize. See, it's on the fly. It's about having a conversation. It's not about perfection. So what is this all about? It's about growing and learning through conversation. So we all have something to contribute, right? We all have something to learn. We all have something to grow about. So that's what this new podcast is about. I want to be able to give you some of my knowledge, some of the things that I've learned through my travels, through my experiences in photography. And I also want you to learn from others. And I want to learn from you. Yes, I want to learn from you because I know that there's a lot to learn from. I've always believed strongly in there's always something to learn every day, no matter how small. So that's the most important thing, that we learn from each other. So that said, I should have started this shit sooner. What stopped me from doing it? Well, I made a crap ton of excuses. So many excuses that it just kept me from moving forward. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. These experiences, these things, we all go through them. These angsts that we experience that keep us from moving forward and succeeding and growing. So I kept looking for the perfect time. I kept looking for the perfect space. I kept looking for the perfect equipment. Okay, so as you can see behind me, I'm redoing a bedroom. So I made excuses why I couldn't start this podcast because I didn't have the right space. I didn't have my desk set up. I didn't have all my cameras. So we're also going to be talking about how you start from the ground up using the equipment that you have. Right now, I'm on a 1080p webcam and a USB mic. So a lot of that's going to change, hopefully in the next few weeks, once this room is finished. I'm going to have all my equipment. I'm going to have my different cameras. I'm going to have my lighting. I'm going to have my monitors and everything. I'm working off of my laptop. Work with what you have. That's exactly this whole point of this podcast, is learning from each other, moving forward, growing, living, learning, and growing. So my biggest bottom line was I kept making excuses, and I kept myself, my insecurities, from getting in front of the camera and moving forward with this podcast. So enough with the shit, and let's get moving forward. That's the whole point, right? So here we are. It's not perfect, but as I've learned and as I've heard so many times, it is progress over perfection. And that's what it is. It's progress over perfection. Doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be crappy, but it can be scrappy. Just like Melanie Diane Howe, someone that I I listen to all the time says, you can be scrappy, and scrappy doesn't have to be crappy. And that's exactly the point in this as well. So if you move forward and you stick to this podcast, I think we're all going to learn something great from each other. We're going to grow, and we're going to experience different things, maybe similar things, but in different ways. So just to keep to my point, and I apologize for the clicking of the mouse. Again, I'm working on a laptop. Please join me as we grow together and we learn together. And hopefully I can teach you a few things and you can teach me a lot of things. So if you have anything to contribute, if you have any ideas for the next few episodes, for the next several episodes, as long as we can have this podcast, whatever it is, please be sure to leave a comment, leave suggestions. I'd love to hear them. I will personally answer any one of those comments and suggestions and take them to heart and mull them over and see what we can do, see what we can happen and what can happen on this podcast, because it's all about us. It's all about learning. Again, I mean, I've reiterated that several times through this whole thing. It's about conversation and learning, what your interests are, what you can contribute, what I can contribute to this whole podcast. So until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And be sure to click and subscribe if you want to get notified on future episodes. Thanks. And have a great one. As I always say, be safe, be real, and always be yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out the video version on YouTube. Also, like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when a new episode is posted. Please rave and review this podcast and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching and listening.